Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, and everyone in between. It is Thursday.
And Thursday means it should be about something, and goddammit, we are here to make it about something. This is Jim Libby.
That's Michael Smolik.
What's your week been like?
My week?
Did you have a week? Did it feel like it was a week?
I don't know if I had a week this week.
Was it a week?
It's been a week. It's been a week.
Mm-hmm.
It's been not a week. It's just been a week.
It's been a strong week?
Not a strong week.
A medium to week?
It's been a week.
Mm-hmm.
A week. Not a week, but a week.
Yeah. All right.
That's all I got.
Do you remember something you did this week?
Not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
This week has been a week. It's one of those weeks where I was languishing.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking today about how I'm going to answer this question, and I realized that you've been asking me this question, how my week's been for several weeks now.
Yes.
And it's made me realize that a lot of my life is just like this this white noise. This white noise of stuff that happens to me during the week. I get to the next Thursday, and I'm like, I don't know. It's just there's noise going on in my head. There's like noise behind me, but I can't remember any of it.
A quick shout out to everybody in the chat land. Hello, Isbazers.
Isbazoos, Isbazites, Isbazets.
The Isboozers.
Isboozers.
The Isboozers.
On the subject of.
Speaking of which, and to all the slurpers out there, the ones who don't make it to the chat.
Those who are here to drink and lurk in the background. But
the lurkers are the slurpers.
The lurkers and the slurpers.
Speaking of which, slurp, everybody.
Yeah, this is the onlyest slurp so far. Good one.
So, saying hello to everybody.
There's a lot of vodka in that.
Yeah, there is.
And very little else.
Moko is here, Marcus and Andrew. Hello, guys. Natalie Cantini.
Oh, boy.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Kathy
Tanner, who broke her computer today.
I don't know what's going on with her. Should have been just plug and play. I don't know how you did that.
We're just happy it didn't explode in your face.
Andrew is in the house, and there we go. Excellent. Hello, everybody. If you are joining us for the first time, It Should Be About Something is coming to you in 3 parts. But right now, we're just saying hi. And if you have a chance, go ahead, hop on the chat and say hi. We'd love to hear from you.
Particularly if you're here for the first time. Like, get in on the chat.
Yeah, man.
Show us that you're here. Don't be a slurper.
Yeah, don't be a slurper.
Be an isboozer.
Be an isboozer.
Come right out and tell us what you're drinking.
Come on in, the water's fine.
Philly Girl 1000.
Yo. So, Michael.
Yeah, Philly Girl 1000 is a friend of non-written oral history.
Yes. I want to know, Michael, what your week has been like. We were talking just before the show started. You haven't been involved, but there's been a thing in the German-speaking world.
Oh, yes.
What was the thing?
The thing is hashtag alles dicht machen. So I don't know if you, I'm sure lots of you have heard about this. Those from overseas probably haven't.
So give it a little context.
But yeah. So a lot of prominent people and mostly actors went out and made videos about the COVID restrictions and how they felt that everybody was getting a raw deal. But frankly, it actually looked a lot more like people with high-end lifestyles moaning about how their first world problems kind of thing.
It's kind of like the German version of what that celebrity thing in America was last year where they all sang Imagine. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
I think it was...
That's probably a good indicator of how important it was to world events.
Yeah. And
so this
is also one
probably
of
going to
those
just fall apart anyway. I mean, I understood the sentiment when I went out and watched a couple of the videos, and I understood the sentiment, but I thought it wasn't clear enough. Like they hadn't honed that text. So I really understand why so many people got really upset about it, because it felt like it was just dealing out blows to anybody, and a lot of people just felt that it was really close to home. I also think that it's a weird time to do it. Like it's like we're right on the cusp of this fucker being over. So why come out and do it now? If they'd done it 4 months ago, I think I would have had a lot more understanding for it. But right now, I'm like, Jesus, you know, we're 2 weeks, maybe we're 6 weeks from May Day. Why fucking start putting people up against the wall now? You know?
Yeah.
That's a little bit like what it feels like. It felt like, here's our last chance to make a big media impact as actors, as, you know, people of prominence. And I'm like, yeah, really? I didn't actually need that.
I had the feeling it was like somebody had a pretty good idea, but it wasn't thought through enough.
Yeah.
But it was good enough for everyone to go, oh, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, I can get somebody over, we'll do a thing, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But, and then you find out about the blah-de-blah-de-blah. Yeah, fucking bullshit.
Right. So if you guys have
celebrities.
an opinion on this, drop it in the chat.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Celebrities and being silly.
Celebrities, that's the word. Not prominente, celebrities.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
Celebrities.
Yeah. Do you think Nina Poll is like a poor man's Kim Kardashian?
That's the kind of hot take you're going to get right here at It Should Be
You
About
know why
Something.
you came to this address now, kids. So, are we done with this? Do we want to move on to this first thing?
I think so.
It's
I
like
want to begin
these-
this week.
I think these guys aren't inspired by alles dicht machen.
Yeah, screw 'em.
Okay, so yeah.
All right. Then, as I said before,
Let's get dicht instead.
let's get dicht instead. Slurp, slurp. I'm glad to see you, Michael.
You are? Really?
I am.
That's news.
Yeah. And now we're in chapter 1 of It Should Be About Something's 3 chapters. And chapter 1 is on getting away with it. So the idea here is I'm going to ask Michael this question, and I'm going to ask all of you the same question. If you could get away with one crime, total clemency, what crime would you commit?
So, being the suppressor of rage, being the person with the inside orc, my first knee-jerk reaction was, oh, I'd go out and shoot a ton of people. Like there's people out there just begging to be shot.
Right.
But then I thought, no, actually, if I could, I'd commit a more clever crime. So I
Okay.
think what I'd do.
Now, hold on a second. I just want to ask you, would you commit a more clever crime because the crime of murder is not clever enough? Or is it because, I thought about murder as well, but I thought, I don't really want to do that.
Well, we're talking about crime, so I mean,
We're talking about crime.
Crime is crime.
I
right?
know, crime is crime. But I thought, even if I had the clemency,
Yeah.
I don't think I really want to do that. I think there are a lot more.
I think there's a lot of people
other-
who deserve to get shot,
Oh yeah,
but
it's only one crime.
It's
not
only one,
like,
exactly.
It's not like you can just murder.
Exactly. This is what I was thinking. So if I went out and shot, I don't know. Okay, I have a very long list, so let's not get into it. If I went out and shot one of those fuckers, then that would leave a very long list of other fuckers that I haven't shot.
Just
right?
name one. No.
Well, Robert Mugabe for one, right?
Oh, yeah,
I can't
yeah.
stand his, right?
Yeah.
He's a fucking asshole. So him, I'd shoot him, but that would leave, like the Gaddafis and the Bin Ladens and the fucking terrorists and all these people, right? So
Right.
And I don't know.
So you want to
fucking
use your-
Jair Bolsonaro? I think he deserves a bullet.
That guy.
So right, and the thing is, you take away one arsehole, you don't solve the problem. There's just new arseholes that come out of the woodwork and continue the same problem, right?
Right. Now, hold on a second. So I love this reasoning, and I want to hear what a more clever crime would be. But before you do that, I need to tell Kathy. Kathy has written, when she was once asked when starting to act here in Vienna whether she was in the trade union in Ireland, so it was part of the, and she said it was that she was, and they let her work at the ORF, which is like the BBC of Austria, and it wasn't true. Kathy, we're talking about crimes you actually haven't committed, so please stop.
Be careful.
Stop right now admitting to crimes.
I misunderstood that first as well. I also thought that I could go on a crime telling spree, not a crime committing spree, but a crime admitting spree.
Yeah.
And that's probably a bad idea.
This is not about crimes you've actually gotten away with. That's going to be a whole different chapter. We're talking about if you could get away with one crime, what would it be?
And I'm glad to. I was actually thinking about that, Andrew. I think he is dead. Yeah, he died recently.
Who?
Robert Mugabe.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's tramp the dirt down and knock it back. So yes, Marcus. So this is you're on the right track here.
Yeah. What would mass property damage be called?
Well, it's not about the mass property damage there. I mean, yes, okay, it's mass property damage. What does he do? Right? He evens the score because he gets rid of everybody's debt. That's almost what I do.
Right. Okay, interesting, because I was thinking along the same lines myself. I was thinking I would...
Because if you even the score financially...
Yeah, I would just go in and just, erase everybody's shit and put in everybody at the same thing.
Exactly.
Like at the beginning of Monopoly.
Right. Right. So then you've got all the Mugabes out there, but they don't have the money to do the thing they want to do, right?
Yeah.
And none of their supporters do.
Yeah.
So my idea was this. In one major worldwide banking scam, I would take the money from all the super rich and super duper rich and deposit that money equally in everybody's bank account.
Right. Oh, so you're leaving out the people without bank accounts? Wow, Michael.
Well, that's unfortunate.
What about the people without bank accounts?
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them.
No, I get it.
If I was passing out milk, I'd be passing out milk to everybody, and the people with a lactose intolerance.
Yeah, what about the lactose
lose out.
intolerant?
Yeah. What about the lactose intolerant?
What about the lactose intolerant?
Yeah, why so weak? So weak.
Oh, Uncle Roger. We love him. So I think it's amazing that you came up with basically the same crime that I came up with.
Yeah, because we're philanthropists.
We are philanthropists.
At heart. I was thinking way too small with my bank robbery. What are we going to do with the money? Moko, yes.
All right, screw refinancing the entire world. Let's all go all in with Moko, okay? We're all going to rob the bank. Oh, but that's basically the last question we had about what we're going to do with $1 million, or if you won the lottery.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think we've kind of been down that road. Speaking of lactose intolerant, Andrew, have you gone lactose intolerant these days?
Michael is intolerant of a lot of things.
I'm not intolerant of
lactose is not one of them.
I'm also not intolerant of the lactose intolerant. I have an intolerance to some allergies. It's not because had 3 milk stouts at the brewery. We made a milk stout. Yeah, he came in, had 3 and left. Came back the next day and complained, he had stomachache. Yeah, okay.
Is there actually milk?
Milk in a milk stout.
Are there peanuts in this peanut?
Yeah, it says peanut brittle.
Are there peanuts in this?
Peanut brittle? Yeah, people are weird that way. It's like, have you seen this? We saw guys from the US do this fantastic scene in Göteborg 3 years ago with the guy. He walks into the deli and says he wants a sandwich, and then he asks, "Is there butter on that sandwich?" And he says, "No, because I have the sandwich without butter." And then he's like, "Is there bread?" "Well, what? There's bread on it? I'm gluten intolerant, man. So then he ends up like going through everything that's in the sandwich, and they take out everything, and then there's like nothing left because he can't eat that and he can't eat this, and he's intolerant to this, and mayonnaise has got eggs in it.
Can't have that.
I laughed a lot.
That's hilarious. Jonna Carpenter, the wonderful
Yes.
musician and actress,
Yes.
friend, and
The perpetually 30-year-old.
the perpetual 30-year-old. Jonna Carpenter was in Vienna performing in a show, and it was her first time in Vienna, and she has a terrible wheat allergy.
Oh, really? Is it gluten? Is it gluten or wheat in general?
It's wheat in general,
Oh, okay.
and it really knocks her for a loop. And she had gone to the bar after the show the night before and had this really yummy beer called Weizenbier, not knowing that
It's
it
wheat
was
beer.
wheat beer.
Yeah.
And that evening or the next evening, she's in the show and she basically passes out like just before the curtain goes down for the
Right.
break, and she's just like, "Blong," and they had to come and revive. And then
She's lucky she didn't come out with hives.
yeah. Is there wheat in this wheat beer? I don't know. I mean, you can
Will
excuse
Wheaton,
it.
is there wheat in your wheat beer?
That would be funny if Will Wheaton was gluten
Wheat
intolerant.
intolerant. He couldn't say his own name. My name's Will.
So I wonder, I mean, I think we've covered pretty well the idea that we could do that whole redistribution thing, and I think that would do a lot of good for a lot of people, and that would be a great crime. What about a petty crime?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. What would your favorite petty crime to be to commit that you could get away with?
If I could commit a petty crime and get away with it, I would, this would be a continuing one. This couldn't be a one-off.
So, like graffiti.
Yeah. I would go to people's houses and rearrange their furniture and take things from one place to the other place where I think it might be better
You want to
suited.
mess with their psyche.
Yeah. I was thinking like,
You're gonna be the feng shui cat burglar. Always close the toilet door.
yeah, but that's also too big.
Put the seat down.
A petty crime. Oh, okay, I got it. It would also have to be a continuing thing. Here's the petty crime that I would want to get away with and have clemency for. I would go around and snap people's masks onto their face when it's hanging around their nose. Just, I'd be like the mask sheriff.
Like, put that back up.
Yeah,
Right.
I would be like, just for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Wear it properly. You gonna go into people's lovemaking in the back of cars and say, roll that thing all the way down?
The window so I can get a better look. I'm here to critique your technique. Use your hips more.
So put laxative in people's drinks and foods. I've actually done this.
That's a what?
Yes, I've done this.
You did that to somebody?
No, I did it to the entire the teachers at the school.
What? Michael, I didn't realize you were not only a badass when you were a kid, you grew up on the tough streets and the pink-eyed fields of South Africa, but you were a master child criminal. Do tell.
We got a whole box of laxatives.
Right.
And we broke into this, so we snuck, we didn't have to break in, we snuck into the teacher's lounge during break, and we dissolved the entire box of laxatives in the full pot of coffee that was on the...
No! Why?
And we basically had the second part of the day off because nobody came to class.
No!
Moko's done it too.
And did you ever get found out?
No. No.
Okay.
I never got found out.
What's the statute of limitations on that? This is a huge admission. You put everybody on. They were pissing out their assholes because of you.
Yeah.
When I was in second grade,
Alexa poisoning is assault in the US. No, yeah, I can imagine that it's assault. Sure. I think I was 12.
When I was in second grade, I put a tack in my teacher's chair. And she sat on it.
Like from underneath.
No, I left it in her chair.
Oh.
Like up, and I really liked this teacher.
Right. So it was one of those crazy love things?
No, it was, truth be told, I wanted to see what would happen because I thought it looked really cool in cartoons.
Ah.
And I didn't want to hurt her. I just wanted to do it for the sake of having done it. Mm-hmm. And I'm realizing right now in front of you and the rest of the world that I think a lot of my life has been like that. Just doing things just to see what it would be like to do it. Maybe that's why I became an actor.
That's why you got all those burns on the palms of your hands.
And hair.
Yeah.
No. Why? And I remember her being so disappointed because it hurt her, of course.
Yep.
And I was so...
But she knew it was you.
I admitted it.
Oh, you admitted it.
Because afterwards,
Never
she
admit
said,
it.
I know.
Unless they have pictures, you never admit.
But I liked her. And afterwards, because we came in from recess, and she sat on it while we were out. So I didn't even get to see it.
Yeah.
And she was just so sad, and she seemed so disappointed. And I realized that I had hurt her, and I didn't want that. I just thought it would be fun to watch her jump up into the air. And
passive-aggressive bitch she be.
Oh, I don't know if she was being passive-aggressive.
It sounds very, very much like it.
Perhaps, but she had every right. I mean,
come on, a tack. Come on, a thumbtack.
You want to try it right now?
I've sat on thumbtacks before. It's not that bad.
Depending on,
I got a bony ass. And I've sat on thumbtacks before.
In any
case. They've been stuck in the bones of my ass.
Well, you grew up on the tough streets of...
I told you about the time I had a...
Johannesburg.
She
was on the tough streets of Leamington. I mean, there was no tough streets there. Anyway, I apologized, and I let her know that I really didn't.
Did she accept your apology? Was she nice to you afterwards?
She was. She was totally cool about it, because I think...
She didn't get gangrene.
I think she really believed me that it was just... I just wanted to see her go, wow!
And did she do that? Did she do that?
I was out at recess. I didn't see it.
You were in recess, right? Okay. Yeah. I've done that before, and the teacher who sat on the chair with a tack had such fat thighs that she didn't even notice. Like it didn't even penetrate because there was just so much
insulation.
It didn't even go anywhere.
L21T24 in the house. Hey, buddy.
Hey, nice to see you.
Okay, what's your petty crime, though?
My petty crime would probably be going around slitting people's tires when they park on two parking spots.
That's a good one.
Fuck, that drives me up the pipe.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, I live in the 7th district, right? So parking is scarce, and we've got all these building sites now as well. So parking is really, really scarce. And then you've got these fuckers parking on two parking spots, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's not just it's not people from out of town either.
Right.
It's on the parking spots that are reserved for people who live in the 7th district.
Right.
So it's one of your neighbors is like, I'm just going to park my fucking car on two parking spots, right?
Speaking of neighbors.
Yeah. You're going to rearrange their furniture?
I'm going to rearrange their furniture. I don't know why that popped into my head.
You can change the whole... You put the living room somewhere else. That'd be so fucking funny.
It'd be fun. Just be like, you know what? You don't need that stereo. I'm taking that to this house. But you could use the big screen TV from there.
There's that joke about this guy. He says like, what does he do every Friday? And he's like, he orders his neighbor's wife flowers. Then he goes out on the balcony, sits back, and watches the show.
There's an old Stephen Wright joke about him coming home one day and all of his furniture and everything in his apartment had been stolen and replaced with exact duplicates. And he said, his roommate comes into the living room and he said, "What happened? Everything has been stolen and replaced with exact duplicates." And the roommate looked at me and said, "Do I know you?" Stephen Wright, too funny.
So yes, rant time. I don't know. I think road rage is actually going to be a topic. I think we need to go full 20 minutes on road rage.
Okay, we can do
So
that.
yes, definitely. I'd love to rant on that because I can really rant on that. And I think Moko, and I think it was Pavlov's dog, we were talking about public transport a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we kind of got into that road rage thing just a little bit, but I think it's a whole topic. So
All right,
bear with me.
we'll put that on the list.
We're going to put that on the list, yeah.
So we got some pretty good crimes out there. Nobody mentioned that they wanted to kill anybody. That gives me some hope for humanity.
This is not humanity. These are Isbazites. Or Isboozers.
Or
both.
Ooh, Isbazites.
The Isbazites. It's a cult.
Don't want to end them. Okay. But I think there's that gives me hope, and it gives me hope that I don't know, maybe there is a little bit of vigilanteism that we could do. That should be a topic, though. I think we need to write this one down.
Vigilanteism?
I think Kathy has inspired me in her admission that maybe we should do a chapter on crimes that we have gotten away with.
There's somebody who keeps painting meaningless graffiti on the wall of the house I live in, and that kind of pisses me off.
Oh man, I hate that.
There's somebody, like, it's actually someone who has access to the house, it would seem, as well, because there was some graffiti in, excuse me, slurpy slurps, everybody drink.
Oh, I've been doing it the whole time.
There's been some graffiti in the elevator as well.
You know, graffiti...
Why? Why do you do this? If you want to put up... I mean, I understand the whole graffiti. Like, you know, graffiti, I totally understand it, but I do graffiti on other people's graffiti. I do graffiti on the graffiti that annoys me, and the graffiti that annoys me most is fucking advertising. You walk down the street's full of fucking advertising, and especially when it's for political parties. They deserve your graffiti more than anybody else. That's where you should put your fucking graffiti, and not on somebody's wall. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah.
That wall doesn't have an opinion. It's not telling you something. It's not getting in your face. It's just a wall. I paid to have it painted, you asshole.
Hey, you bourgeois scum. It's... just because, hey, you know...
If I had a crime-free, I'd shoot you now. Wouldn't that be nice? You ever get out of jail free card? You can walk up to somebody and say, "You better stop doing that right now because I have a get out of jail free card for breaking your neck." I won it in a card game.
That's what I want to do. That, and I want to have my stickers to put onto advertising and shops and things. One sticker that says, "Not quite English," and one that says, "Just wrong." Yeah. Machado's in the house. Nice to see you, Machado. Michael, you wanted to ask the chat, since everyone's shown up now, what it was we wanted to ask them. Oh yeah, we were talking about a whole nother thing, and so we're gonna get to this. Are we finished with this?
I think we are finished with this.
Good, then let's get to this, because we were talking, we had a wonderful friend of ours, Jeff Vina, dropped a little something.
No, he didn't drop a little something. He's gone from sponsor to godfather of the show.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And we're very, very, very thrilled with that. And we were talking about, well, one of the things that he mentioned was a thing that we just don't do, which is to create shorter videos, because it's all about editing. And it's something that Michael and I have started doing. Help me out here.
Well, yeah. I mean, we have done a couple of videos.
Yeah.
The thing is that it takes up time, and you know, we're kind of busy doing other stuff, and oftentimes after the show, I'm kind of inspired to say I want to do a cut down of that, and then my week
Reality,
of white
yeah.
noise comes in the door, and I don't get around to it, and then I end up doing the other video thing for the invite and the post and stuff. So basically, what we want to know is,
if anybody is
Yeah.
out there, we've started to try to learn how to edit, but we can't get to it. If there's anybody out there that is interested in looking at editing as a hobby, or if you're into it already,
or even if you think that segment of the show that you watched kind of inspires you to do an edit of it because you'd like to cut it down to the...
just Michael talking. Cut it down.
If you could cut out all the gym fat.
Just cut or edit a chapter where it's just us slurping. It's just slurping the whole time.
So if you want to do something fun like that, then drop us a line. And Andrew Toy raised his hand. And tell us which.
If you have a favorite chapter that you'd like to try, or if you want to, go for whatever it is you'd like, let us know, and we'll send you the material. And whatever you come up with, we will
post it.
Post that, and be utterly indebted and thankful.
And no holds barred,
Great.
Do what you want with
Andrew,
material.
Marcus, love it. All right. So let us know, Andrew and Marcus, do you want to start with a chapter, or should we send you just a show? And if you want a whole show, just tell us which number from
Cool.
18 to 42 or whatever.
Excellent.
All right.
I love this.
That's amazing feedback. That's great.
Shall we move on to chapter 2?
I think we should move on to chapter 2.
Yeah. All right. Favorite teachers.
On your favorite teachers.
Oh, teachers, like the past couple of weeks, teachers just keep coming back for more. It's like we had Hot for Teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And now we've just had crimes, and teachers
And the
were
teacher
part of
was
the
in there.
crimes that we've committed.
Yeah.
And the crimes you ever wanted to commit a crime with your teacher?
Did I ever want to commit a crime?
Have you
with my
committed
teacher?
crimes with your teachers that you can't admit to on air?
No. I did have a teacher that did commit crimes.
It's not quite the same thing, but interesting, yes. Maybe we'll hear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw it out there. Favorite teachers. Who was your favorite teacher? Why were they your favorite teacher? Was it a teacher from school? Was it a teacher from adulthood? What do you got? Who were your favorite teachers? So that's where we're at, Michael. You got one?
Well, let me ask you.
Yeah, please.
Have you got one?
I've got
Do you
several.
still have one?
Oh yes, I have so many favorite
Who's like at
teachers.
the top of the list?
It's hard to say.
Pick one.
I don't have you know me. I don't have a list.
Yeah, we
I've
don't.
got a pile.
We don't have it all night.
I got a pile.
Pick
so
one.
I'm going to tell you about one teacher. My teacher, my favorite acting teacher that I ever had, P. Michael Burgoyne, who is no longer with us. He was my theater teacher in high school and a huge role model, and just an amazing man. And
Is he the guy we know this extraordinary story about?
The extraordinary story?
Yeah, I'm not going to give it away.
Okay. But I'm going to need more of a hint.
Well, involving a playwright.
No.
Oh, not that one.
No.
Okay.
No. That was Walter Stump.
Walter Stump.
But also in my high school,
Yeah.
I had a teacher who was just my English teacher for 1 year. But he was one of my favorite teachers. I had several amazing teachers. Teachers who, in my school, who actually should not have been there. I grew up in rural Maine, in a place, we had the first baby barn in my high school, which was a place that women who had become pregnant could have daycare and still be able to go to school.
right.
I mean, wonderful,
wow.
but
Okay.
incredibly needed.
Yeah.
It was a huge conglomerate school of just kids coming from the country.
So you were surprised that some of your teachers weren't shitty?
By all means,
Yeah.
by all rights.
So they should be teaching somewhere else.
I had a
Maybe they were
teacher.
philanthropists.
Well, in some ways. I mean, so this one teacher that I had, he was a graduate of Harvard, Yale, and Brandeis universities. He had been a coach for the U.S. Olympic wrestling team for 10 years. And he moved to rural Maine just because he loved the way of the lifestyle.
Didn't marry a girl from there.
No.
Okay.
And we called him Coach Reese.
Yeah.
And he was a gentleman scholar. In that sense of insano in corpore, I mean, it was all about
mens sana in corpore.
Mens sana in corpore sano.
Yeah.
And like a John Irving character.
Yeah.
Really.
But what subjects did he teach?
He taught English. He taught advanced English and wrestling.
Right. Did you take the wrestling class?
No. He tried to get me to go on the team a couple of times. We had wonderful conversations. I loved talking to him. I had another teacher who was a social studies teacher.
I just want to, before you move on to that, it's interesting how many great teachers combine the mental and the physical aspects of life. Like, and I think that it's really important that you have both. Like the thinking, the moving, and the music. So
Yes.
you probably need like to become a fully fledged human being, you need to have music or dance.
The student
both,
has to find
right?
the teacher. Yeah, you have to find that in somewhere.
So I think it's very. Those are the people, the enlightened. It's like the Renaissance man, right? That thing. You want to have bits. You want to have all the bits of the pie, and not just the one bit that makes you the cash.
Well, to become a well-rounded person, absolutely. I had another teacher who I loved, Ms. Wendell. I've spoken about her many times, my Latin teacher. I had a teacher in school, in junior high school, Ms. Carter, who I loved because it was through her that I learned a lot of independence, a lot of the confidence to be able to be the person I was.
Yeah.
And I often think of her because she looks like Magdalene. Or she did. Magdalene looks like Ms. Carter. And so whenever I see Magda, who is a friend and wonderful colleague, terrific performer as well, every time I see Magda, I think of Ms. Carter.
All right. So there's quite a lot going on here for biology teachers.
Yeah.
Biology teachers are high on the stakes. Do you want some?
No, I'll do it. Yep. Those teachers. Now, what about you with teachers after school? Is there anybody that you would consider a teacher who wasn't officially a teacher?
Oh, I see.
A name, like someone who you would consider a teacher, or perhaps it's a mentor.
Well, yeah, a mentor, I guess. There was this guy. One of my best friends when I was in my late teens was at this school. I can't remember what the school was, but he kind of befriended one of the teachers there, and we started hanging out with him. So he kind of became my mentor for a bit as well. His name was Andre, and I think he was a maths or science teacher, but he could sing the Ave Maria. And he had all these, experiences, and he'd traveled the world and stuff like that. So he was a great person to hang out with because he had lots of things to say about lots of things, and he was very open to whatever you had to say about it. It wasn't about telling you how the world was. He'd kind of impart his experience of it, and if you said, "Well, this is how," it is, like, well, yeah, then go find that, or go find out about that. Or,
Yeah, the teachers that empower you to make that thing happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Or even like allow you to think about whether the opinion you have is a good opinion to have.
Yeah.
Instead of pushing up against your opinion and making it stronger.
Right, right. So rather than defining against the other,
Yeah.
defining from yourself. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's those teachers that are perhaps in a way more journey oriented than they are destination oriented in a way. That the teachers, I think, that always spoke to me were ones that not only embodied a way that was, a thing that was for me, attractive, like something I wanted to be.
Yeah.
But that in some ways led me to conclusions.
Yeah.
Rather than giving conclusions. They would show their impact, their passive impact on me was such that was enough. Their influence, their active influence, was predicated on not only on this is how I see it, but on how do you see it?
Yeah.
And then finding that way to affect me.
Yeah.
And that is it's such a thing to strive for, I think.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering, Marcus, why the hell this history teacher who would do that's interesting, but it's completely wrong. Yeah. Why is he one of your favorite teachers? You just you a bit of a glutton.
Well, because he would hold the students their feet to the fire, and I think that's absolutely cool. Rather than letting them slide, if you didn't prepare right, he'd let you wiggle around to save yourselves, but then he'd finish you off. And I think for Marcus that is probably really inspiring because it made him.
Marcus is extremely diligent about doing things.
Absolutely,
these days, right?
Yeah.
You cannot fault that boy.
Machado had a geography teacher who inspired them. I had a geography teacher. It wasn't my social studies teacher, Mr. Isaiah, but I had another geography teacher, and our final through the year, the final was to draw a map of the world with all of the countries and their capitals.
Wow.
And I did very well.
Of course you did.
I was very good at that. I couldn't do it right now to save my life. But it's really cool.
I wonder.
Speaking of really cool, just because this is a little side tangent and Michael's not going to stop me, there is a really cool website, and I'm going to ask somebody in the chat to check this out. It's called, I think it's vacation.us, or it's a city guesser game. And the idea is they've got 4K video of people walking around different cities. And you watch the person walking around the city, and it's really nice and relaxing, and the sound is good, and it's 4K video, so it's really pretty to watch. And then you have to guess what city the person is in, and so you kind of look for clues as to the the language.
I always do that in movies.
Oh, it's so much fun! And then you can guess, and then it'll tell you how far off you are. And it's a web game that I put just on the Apple TV. I put it onto the big screen, and then you sit there and watch these things. It's a super fun game. It's really fun. Just a big recommendation out there.
I play that with Christina all the time. Like when we're watching a movie or a series or something, and a cityscape comes up. Yeah. We're like, that's that, or that's that, or that's that. Or where is this? What do you think?
Yeah.
Like,
I always do that after it says in the subtitle, and it goes, New York City, and then I'll go, looks a lot like New York. Somewhere in the desert. That looks like somewhere in the desert. Birmingham, Alabama. Looks like it's Birmingham.
Looks like you're burning ham.
Burning ham?
You're burning my ham here.
I'm burning your ham?
Yeah, burning a hole in my ham. Sitting here listening to you talk.
Yeah, we call them burning hams.
Burning hams. Got 2 burning hams here with I got thumbtacks in them.
This sounds like a Simpsons thing.
Yeah, like playing pranks on, like what Peter's saying here. Playing pranks on your teachers and doing stuff like that. I don't know. I don't remember a teacher who was long suffering enough to take that kind of abuse. I
had a teacher who, Ms. Holt, She was a brilliant woman. She was very large. She had a big
large
face.
as in tall or
yes,
large?
and no, she was tall. She was imposing. She was a big physicality, and she had sort of a canary voice. And she was incredibly intelligent, and she was a very good teacher. And she taught English as well, and she had this habit of she'd be talking about. Well, as if Scott Fitzgerald said in The Great Gatsby, one must always... And then she would turn her head, not saying a word, and look out the window, as though there was nowhere else in the world that she would less like to be than in that room. And then she would wistfully look out and then come back.
Yeah.
And then she would say... on top of the societal... She would just pick up exactly where she was. It was fascinating. It was amazing.
And sad somehow as well.
It was, in some ways. She always reminded me...
all the places she'd rather be, all the opportunities that she left behind, and now she's teaching these assholes in this school in buttfuck nowhere, Maine.
I can't remember what the bell jar was about, but I always think of her as a character from it.
The bell?
The bell jar? Sylvia Plath.
Rings a bell, but I don't think I've read it.
Yeah.
The bell jar.
Or like a Patricia Highsmith novel. She seems like...
I don't think I've read a single Patricia Highsmith novel.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I've read a couple that were very good.
Yeah. I'm not dissing it. I'm saying I have not read any Patricia Highsmith.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of Wilbur Smith.
I've never heard of Wilbur Smith.
Well, there you are. Where were we when we started with this? I was going to say, oh yes. So one of the most influential teachers that I had, I think I must have been 12 or 13, and he was my art teacher.
I've had some good art teachers. They always smelled funny.
He was kind of big bearded guy, and we'd kind of see him. Yeah, well, people with beards often kind of smell a little bit miffy, right? Because there's lots of, insects and food rests and, stuff in there. Really? Yeah. Small animals.
Yeah. My second grade teacher was passive aggressive. That's
but let me tell you about this. So we'd see him around the school because he taught the higher grades. So you up until you were 10, you didn't have him. You only had him afterwards, right?
Did he wear a jean jacket?
No.
Okay.
So he was always this big, imposing guy with a dark beard walking around, right?
Did he have glasses?
Yes.
Did he have long hair?
No.
Was he a hippie?
He was German.
Oh!
He was German. So
of course he smelled weird.
From before the hippie era.
Yeah.
Right? And we were always kind of scared of him. And the first class that I had with him just opened my eyes about art. Because up until that point, art had always been, the art classes that we had was, okay, get out your cray pazzes or your paints or whatever and paint this. Forget it. It's just weird art teacher shit. Like the art teachers who insist that you use a particular thing that they think is great because that's like that's where the creativity comes from, is the stuff that you use to fucking hell. I don't want to get into that. So basically, all the art that I'd had up until that point was instruction.
Right.
Do it like this.
Right. And
you get an A or a B, and in my case, it was usually a D or an F or something because it just didn't look like what the teacher intended for it to look like, right? Yeah. And this guy said, so paint this. I can't remember what it was that we painted, but at the end of the class, we all took our things out and we put them in the middle of the classroom on the floor, and we each got the stick, and we pointed to them and critiqued every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this went on, and that taught me about seeing what people had done,
right,
and what was in the thing that they'd done, and
right,
why it was interesting.
Right.
So we started talking about the content of this, and then talking about how well is this made,
yeah,
but how good is the content of this thing.
Yeah.
And that really, really opened my eyes to art in general. just thinking about, oh, it's not you join the dots.
You just reminded me
this thing where you put an idea into that, right? And it's about the idea and the technique.
Yeah. You just reminded me of one of my favorite teachers that I never actually had, because this teacher is a fictional character. And that teacher is a teacher inside the John Guare play, 6 Degrees of Separation. 6 Degrees of Separation. For those who don't know it, there was a great movie version of 6 Degrees of Separation. I think it was Will Smith's, maybe it was like his second movie. He's 19 and is amazing. Another Smith. Anyway, 6 Degrees of Separation is the story of this couple. In the movie, it's Donald Sutherland and it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's basically this couple who go around telling stories at parties, and this is a story that they're telling at one of the parties. And the story goes like this. Donald Sutherland plays a guy who is an art critic. And he's in New York going for a conference. And while he's there, he goes to visit an old friend of his from university who didn't become an art critic. She became an art teacher. And he goes to her school to pick her up. And he walks into the classroom and she's gathering her things, getting stuff together. And he's looking around at the paintings on the walls, and he is flabbergasted. And he says it. He's like, "Look at
like
what
he
is
really digs the stuff.
He digs it. He's like, "What? Do you have a class full of geniuses? Look at the form, the line, the tone. These works are incredible. How did you do that?" And she is putting her stuff together, and she looks up and she just says, "Oh, well, I guess I just know when to take the paper away."
Yeah. Christ, that is so important. Like I've got to tell you this. Are you done?
I'm just going to finish. My epilogue on that story is that person is one of my favorite teachers because I use this lesson so often in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not always good at it because I try to take the paper away from him very often. It doesn't work. But it taught me a lot, and I use that lesson very much. And so that teacher who doesn't really exist had a huge influence on me.
I had exactly the same. I had that exact experience.
Yeah?
When I was a kid, we did this charity thing where we went and collected river rocks, and we painted them, and we sold the painted rocks. And each kid got 2 or 3 rocks.
Yeah.
And I'd painted all my rocks.
Yeah.
And I was bored.
Yeah.
And I'd done this great. It was a rock shaped like this, and it was a caterpillar.
Of course it was.
And it really looked great. Like everybody, the adults were like, "Wow, that is the best rock." But then I was bored, and I had nothing else to do.
Yeah,
and all the other kids still had rocks to paint. And I went and I painted and I repainted the caterpillars. Like just started messing.
You painted over the caterpillar?
No. I started messing with the finished caterpillar. And I just made it worse and worse.
You made it worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. And it was my mom said, "You should have just stopped when that was done."
Yeah.
And I think about that a lot. Like when it's done, just leave it. But it's difficult because it's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do now? Right?
I think that's a good lesson in not only in art, in bed.
God, and everything.
At dinner.
Yeah.
When it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's over.
I think it's over. We did a good job. Everyone's got some good. I like this Peter Farsouth with the pelting him, and a teacher that can just let it ride. Let it ride. Favorite teachers. That was it. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, and everybody else in between.
Follower of Clay, you're here for exactly the right moment. We go to this.
A word to our sponsors.
I think Jim wants me to ask him something, but I'm not sure what it is.
It's ridiculous. Because it doesn't matter. We've been doing this
You know what I can do? I can do this. can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
I just thought of that now.
We've been doing this for almost a year. It hasn't been a year yet.
And
but
I've just figured out that I can do that with that knob down there.
You know, thank you all for always showing up and doing this with us. We have been doing this now. This is what, number 40?
42.
42.
Yeah.
And it's been weird because we made this pact to just be as transparent and open to failure as possible. And we have completely fulfilled that pact, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Time and time again. But as you mentioned today, we are getting better a little bit. And I think that's good. All right.
Do you remember what topic number 3 is?
I do. Play the thing.
Didn't I just do that?
I think you played the commercial.
Oh, I played the commercial. Shall we move on to the 3?
I think we should.
Here we go.
I do.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
hold on.
I'm with you.
I just want to make sure I got that out there. Thank you all for joining us and bearing with us.
Yes.
It's great. Go ahead.
He's doing it again. He's mouthing, he's mouthing things at me, and I don't know what it is. The most expensive thing that you've broken. Jim Libby. Oh, I have a long list of very expensive things that I've broken.
Hearts.
Some of them are crimes that I've got away with.
Hearts.
Ah.
Millions of hearts. That's the most expensive thing I've broken. I think maybe we shouldn't have said expensive.
No, I think expensive is good. I think expensive. We can go on to the romantic side of this if you want to.
Well, you know, no. So yeah, expensive things. The most expensive thing that you've broken. That we're putting that out there. What's the most expensive thing that you've broken? The most expensive thing that I've broken.
Did you read this? Like, Andrew broke advertising in 2007 when he rushed a software change because he was on his way to a pub quiz at Shabin. Yes! I hope that was one of the pub quizzes where our team did really well, Andrew. I remember that night we had all the faces of composers, really, really badly photocopied composers, and we had to figure out who they were. And by simple extraction, I figured out that the last one was Pachelbel.
Pachelbel?
I think it's pronounced Pachelbel. I think in English it's pronounced Pachelbel.
Pachelbel.
Yeah. But I think I just figured that out because it could be nobody else.
Yeah. L21T24. I broke my mom.
I think everybody breaks a little bit of their mom.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And I think whatever it is that we break off of our moms, we carry with us for the rest of our lives.
Which car should I choose?
How many cars have you broken, Philly girl? How many cars have you broken?
Yeah.
You poured boiling water on the keys to clean them. Of course, Kathy. Of course, yeah. I can just imagine a 7-year-old Kathy. She's about the same size as Kathy is now. And she walks over with a kettle and she thinks, you know, my mum is always telling me that my hands are so dirty. I'm going to put some water on the keys and then I'm going to... That's how she spoke when she was a child. I'm going to put the water on the keys. Do it like that. I'm going to clean them. I had a friend of mine who, when she was a little girl, she was with her best friend, and they turned their living room into a swimming pool. Or that was the plan.
It failed. Of course it failed.
They got like 20 buckets in from the bathroom.
Okay. Oh no!
And it was a cork floor.
Oh God!
And so that was probably the most expensive thing she ever broke.
So Moko broke a 9-month-old car,
That
and
sucks.
I'm guessing, Moko, that you had no insurance on that because otherwise we would just got a new car.
And I'm guessing
wouldn't be mentioning it here. So damn, that sucks really bad.
But that's also an expensive thing. I mean, cars are expensive. Cars are That's probably the most
like if it truly is a new car, so only a really truly 9-month-old car.
Yeah.
That's really expensive because
that's an expensive
cars
thing to break.
lose half of their worth the moment you drive them off the showroom floor.
Yeah. Well, then it's not so expensive.
You're basically in debt. It wasn't insured. So
it wasn't that expensive. It wasn't that expensive.
Well, as long as you were insured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's something super expensive that you broke?
Well, I broke a golf course.
You broke a golf course. All
there
right.
was this really obnoxious golf course where I used to live.
Yeah.
And it took up a major amount of space in the area that I lived in. And I spent a lot of my teenage afternoons and evenings having to walk the long way around the fucking golf course.
Because?
Well, because it was right in the middle of the area where I lived.
And you couldn't cross it?
So this is when I started. Well, there was fencing around it, so we'd break the fence to get in.
And you couldn't like go into where? Oh, I see. Okay, so it's like a really big thing, the golf course, and your school is the golf course is between you and
where I want to go.
Yeah. All right.
Right. So we had to cross this golf course, and especially
was it
later.
Nice?
Was it nice? Well, there were security guards as well on the golf course. So.
Okay, because I'm imagining.
Yeah.
What I imagine in your golf course is like a manicured lawn and lots of people dressed in white shorts and white shirts.
Now, when I was trying to cross the golf course...
It's incredibly colonial and it's only white dudes who are playing.
It was only white dudes, yeah.
Yeah. It's only white dudes playing and everything is very colonial.
So if you tried to cross the golf course in the afternoon, you were lucky if you didn't get hit by a ball.
Right.
But I was usually trying to cross the golf course late at night.
And I imagine you in a schoolboy's uniform. Basically, I imagine you dressed as Angus Young, but barefoot, with really dirty feet and pink eye because of the mud clot fight. And it's nighttime because you've been out seeking revenge, and now you're trying to cross the golf course.
No, so my friends and I decided we'd take revenge on the golf course. So what we ended up doing was digging up a couple of greens.
You dug up golf course greens.
Yes.
Yes! Oh! Asshole.
Yeah.
This is from the guy who's mad that somebody goes, I was here.
On my wall.
On the mirror of his...
I think that might have been the most expensive thing I've broken so far.
Okay, so how many greens did you fuck up?
Oh, in the course of a year, probably 3 or 4.
Dang. No wonder they didn't want to have people cross their fucking golf course. No wonder there were fences. They probably made the fences bigger because of what you did. Did you ever golf there?
No.
Did you know that Michael is now a big lover of golf?
Well, not so much anymore. It's really
you went
expensive.
through a phase.
I went through a phase, but it's really expensive. And they're super elitist about it here.
Yes,
they're nowhere near as elitist in South Africa about golfing.
This is why I stopped playing golf when I was a teenager, because it's a huge waste of money, resources, it's elitist, it's expensive, it's exclusionary.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Once you realize that...
Got a list, eh?
Yeah, man. I could go on a rant about golf courses.
Yeah.
Tanya Golden in the house. My goodness. Hello, Tanya.
You broke your nose. It was the most expensive thing you've broken so far. I think that could be pretty expensive.
Well, I hope she did it while she was... Tanya... I'm so glad you're here. Nice to hear from you. That makes me happy to know that you're around. That's great. Yeah, I bet Tanya's got a very expensive nose.
Father of Clay's girlfriend threw out 4 hand-signed Beatles photos. Okay, this conversation is over. This has just ended the show. Good night, everybody.
Wow.
Can you name all 4 Beatles? Quick, go, now.
John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
Oh, yeah. Good. He was very slow. He was thinking.
No, I was wondering whether I should,
whether
add in George Martin.
Oh, right. George.
Yeah, that's the 5th.
Verena. Everybody wave to Verena. Verena, wave at the screen.
Excellent. I have broken several cars.
Yeah.
In my life.
What's the most expensive car you've broken, and how did you break it?
none of the cars were really expensive, but
Yeah,
they were
you
always the most
you
expensive.
drove beaters.
Yeah, I always, I never could afford a new car. I once broke somebody else's.
Yes.
I once broke somebody else's really nice scooter, and it was like on the second day of being there,
crap.
and I spent like the next 6 months paying that back. I once broke someone's apartment. I was tasked with watering the plants on the balcony. And I took that seriously, and I did it. And then one night, I watered the plants, and I turned off the water, as I had always done.
Right.
But the water was turned off at the hose and not at the thing. And then it started to leak.
It's just an accident waiting to happen.
And then it was like 2 days later when I came back to water the plants again, there was like police tape everywhere because and there was water everywhere.
Yeah.
The people hated me.
Yeah.
They had, of course there was insurance, thank God. And then,
You were never allowed to come back again.
thank God, 8 months later, the same thing happened to the dude.
Oh, you lucky fucker.
And I think that was the only reason that he didn't hate me for the rest of his life.
That actually happened to my neighbor. He went away on holiday in the middle of winter, and he had one of those garden hoses. And the water froze in the hose, and the hose popped open, and then the water started running out. And it was freezing, so we had these huge icicles hanging down the side of the house. And he wasn't there. And somebody in the house called the fire brigade. And I'd already been phoning him and saying, you need to come and fix this now. And he was like in the Philippines or something.
Oh, God.
And he called his mom to come and take care of it. And she was on the way. So I knew this. And I'm like walking down the stairs. And as I'm walking down the stairs, the fire brigade's like going up 9 men strong with a ram.
Yeah.
And I managed to stop them and say, I've spoken to him. She's going to be here in 15 minutes. Don't break the door down. Yeah.
Just please.
But we had this skating rink in our yard because the water had dripped down and was all over the show, right?
Machado, your teeth.
Yeah.
The teeth are so expensive.
My grandfather took the front brakes off all of his daughter's bicycles. So that's my mom and her 2 sisters.
So that they wouldn't fly
Because
over?
all 3 of them broke their front teeth.
Oh no! I forgot about teeth. I broke a tooth too, and that has cost me money all through my life. Teeth are expensive. Teeth are expensive,
Yeah,
man.
it's true. Always turn off the spigot. Yes, never leave the hose pressurized. Applicable to industry and brewery hoses as well.
He said from experience.
Probably. No, I don't know. Andrew's probably the guy who goes through the brewery at night, makes sure that everybody's turned it off at the spigot.
Yeah. I wonder how many things we've broken that we don't even know about. Systems.
Yeah.
Did you ever break anything? Did you ever break a system?
Well, I started a student union at the university that I went to, and that might have taken a turn for the worse after that.
The thing about breaking things is that insurance would be a good thing, but I have never been treated well by insurance. I remember,
No, they always try to screw you.
Always find a way to screw
Yes.
you. I broke a computer once without having ever really used it.
Yeah.
And it had a broken screen. I was like the first one to have a spider screen on my laptop that I ever knew. And I had to use that forever. I had this little hole, maybe Andrew even remembers that computer, had a little hole in the middle of the screen because it broke on an airplane and they wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah.
I've broken myself on cars and they haven't paid for it. Insurance companies suck.
Maybe we should talk about insurance.
Definitely.
The white man's bane.
Why the white man?
No, that's a reference to the Goon Show,
Oh yeah.
which came out in the 60s, where insurance was kind of white people got insurance and everybody else didn't get insurance.
You're South African, I know.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, and everyone in between, we've all broken shit. It's gonna happen again. Hoses are
break
evil,
less shit.
and we should try to break less shit.
Like, I've broken so much shit that I know when shit's gonna break. Like, start walking away from stuff when you see that it's gonna break, or somebody's gonna break it, and you don't want to be around when they do.
I had a friend, Jeff Johnson, who...
Just walk away from the bees. Walk away from the Jeff.
Jeff Johnson used to say, like, I would borrow, like, I used to, he was a sculler, a rower.
Oh.
Big, super strong dude, another one of those role model kind of guys. You know, he rode for university, had a voice like chocolate milk, you know,
Right.
like in the body of a linebacker.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we used to go rowing a lot, and every once in a while, you know, I would...
So there's a heartbreaker.
Oh, he was a total heartbreaker. And I would borrow his shell, you know, his skull, and he would always say, and remember, Jim, don't treat it like it was yours, like it's yours.
Yeah.
Treat it like it's mine. But he would like make his voice go down an octave.
Yeah.
You know, treat it like it's mine.
You've told me the story before, and I
Really?
think of that a lot. Yeah.
Really?
And frankly, when I lend people my stuff, I lend it on strength of whether I believe that they will treat it like theirs or treat it like mine.
I hear you. I hear you.
Good. I dream of breaking the finance system. Tanya Golden, you came to the story a bit late because
We talked all about that,
about
yeah.
breaking the finance system. Crime you could get away with, and we agreed, and we did not agree to agree. We agreed by perchance because we are both philanthropist, conniving criminals like you yourself. We would break the finance system, take away all the rich people's money, and divide it up equally among all those who had bank accounts.
The ultimate Robin Hood.
Yes, the ultimate Robin Hood thing.
Yeah.
I'm broke all the time, yes. So exactly, you would have been a beneficiary of our crimes.
What's the most expensive thing you've broken? My will.
I'm broke all the time, she's broken.
Yeah. I've broken.
Fight Club vibes. Yes, follower of client, totally, yeah, taking down the credit.
Yeah.
Don't drive it like it's yours, drive it like it's mine, yes, because it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we should even make that a chapter. What did we talk about? We're going to...
Vigilantism?
No,
Vigilantism.
that wasn't going to be a chapter. Vigilantism. Your notes are terrible. Yeah. Vigilantism was not going to be a chapter.
We can go back and watch the video.
We will. And we're also going to do one on lending things.
So he crossed it out, and then he rewrote it underneath.
Yeah, because I'm going to throw him a bone.
Yeah.
All right.
Lending things.
Yeah, I think that should be a chapter.
Stuff,
but there was one other thing we were talking about.
Borrowing
Not
and lending.
borrowing things.
Lending things.
Doesn't matter.
The chapter we want to talk about?
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors,
Road
and everyone
rage.
in between.
Is Bazites, is Boozers, is Bazettes, is Bazy. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here.
We do this every Thursday. Next Thursday will be no different. We'll be here at 8:30 with 3 new chapters and maybe a more interesting week to have had in the between times.
I don't know. Even if it's just a week of white noise, I'm going to be here anyway.
Insurance. Thank you, Andrew.
I wrote it down.
Very good. We hope you all have a very good week. And if you get a chance, take some time and, I don't know, think about a crime that you might want to commit. And if you can get away with it,
Commit it.
do it.
Yeah, go for it.
In the meantime,
Be good.
be safe.
clever.
Andrew and Marcus, let us know about the editing thing. We'll hit you up for that.
Oh, and L21, T24.
Really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
L21, T24 wants to have a go as well. So
Great.
Drop us an email or something, an email address, or somewhere we can connect you with you.
Well, we should tell them how to connect. How's
Well,
that
you
gonna
can write us a PM on
How?
on
Nothing. Just
Gotcha.
write it in here. Write it here in the chat and say, do you want a whole show? Do you want a chapter? If you want a whole show, let us know which one, or if it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever. Just get in touch. And let's say goodbye to Moko, Goodbye, Moco.
Andrew, Verena.
Andrew, Machado,
Kathy.
Verena, Philly Girl 1000.
Tanya
Kathy,
Golden.
Tanya Golden, Faller of Clay.
Clay. Came in late, but strong.
Came in late.
Marcus. And
Marcus.
Peter way down south.
I need to talk to Marcus. Marcus, give me a call.
And L21 T24.
L21 T24.
Broke his mum like everybody.
Peter Far South. Dang. Who else we got? There was somebody up here. It was.
Yep, it was.
No. I'm telling you, it was
Natalie
Natalie.
Cantini came here for the first time.
Absolutely.
Hope to see you again, Natalie.
Yeah, absolutely. And she mentioned a hello from somebody. I missed it. Whatever. We're both always so thrilled that you're all here, and thank you all so very much. Stay safe. Be careful. We'll see you soon. We're gonna hug this out.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Thank you.